Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Debt Free Monday. I just call it that. I couldn't think of anything else. I thought that would be very apropos to the topic that we are talking about on day 15 of 30 days of financial wellness with your favorite freedom and financial life coach, Coach Sapphire Star, owner and founder of Organized Chaos, where we help our clients get over the shame of money, the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, and boldly walk into the life they deserve and desire by organizing their chaos, i.e., money. Welcome back. Super excited to be with you this morning. If you're ready to level up your mind and your money and begin living a life that is filled with purpose, passion, and possibilities, please type yes, all caps, in the comment section. Be like, I'm ready. If you ready, type I'm ready. Let's go. It's Monday. Let's start this week out on a good foot with intentions, with inspiration, with just enthusiasm for the week. I believe how you start kind of regulates how you finish. And let's start it out on a good foot. Last week, I introduced you guys to the STAR method for financial freedom and building wealth. And today we're going to keep that train rolling. Last week we talked about the S in STAR, which is shift your money mindset. The T for take action. The A for allocating your income strategically. And this is focusing on budgeting and saving. Today, we're going to talk about the R, the first R in STAR, because you guys know if you're looking for me, you want to find me, you want to connect with me, you want to join my Money and Mindset Challenge for 2025, you go to sapphire2rs.com. The first R in the framework is, and it's kind of a two-part, but the first R is reduce debt, repair, or I like to say restore. Restore your credit. Reduce debt, restore your credit. That's the first R in the framework. And the reason I paired those together like that, because the two go hand in hand. And today we're going to focus on the reduce debt. And tomorrow we'll talk about how to repair and restore your credit. And the quickest way that you can eliminate debt, which if you are saddled, if you are drowning in high interest debt, and that means you're using credit or you're using debt, credit, to go hand in hand, remember, to purchase things like liabilities or what I call stupid shit, then what happens is you end up paying way more for that price tag than if you would have paid for it right out due to compound interest and high interest rate. Understand that debt is big business. And the beautiful thing about being in America is that we're one of few countries that has this credit system, debt credit system, where you can borrow money you don't have and use it to go buy something else. And so I think it's very important that, and the reason it's big money is because of, like I said, compound interest, where you're paying money on top of money on top of money more than you originally spent. And so it's a huge, huge money making industry. And so that's why it's very important that you learn how debt works, how credit works, because you can use that to your advantage. Go figure. So instead of paying someone else high interest, 20 to 25% in interest, you can learn how to reverse that, and then someone else is paying you 20, 25% in return on your investment. And so the quickest way to do that, I've already talked about the A in the STAR method, budgeting and saving. So the first thing you need to do before you do anything else is make sure you have a financial plan, AKA a budget. In that budget, we have 4 sections. We have income, money coming in. We have expenses, money going out. We have debt, boo, and we have savings. Once you track your income, you subtract your expenses from your income. That is residual income, what you have left over. The quickest 2 ways to increase residual income, money you have left over, is either increase your income, decrease your expenses. Now, with that residual income, what are you doing with it? If you're saddled with high interest debt, we need to get rid of that. You're hustling backwards. Argue with your auntie. It doesn't make sense, especially when you are purchasing things that don't bring value. So the quickest way to get rid of that is, number 1, budget. Number 2, cut them credit cards up, sis, sir. Cut the credit cards up. Or do like I did when I started my debt-free journey. I not only cut my credit cards up, I also put them in the freezer. Because you can call and ask for a new card. I cut them things up and I put it in a Ziploc bag and I threw them in the freezer. So that was going to prevent me as much as it possibly could. If you're serious, right? You probably don't have to go through these extreme measures, but sometimes you do when you first starting out, because it's very tempting. That new bag come out, that new phone come out. By the way, the iPhone 17, 18, 19, 20, I don't know what number they're on. I'm on 12 because y'all like $1 trillion. What's y'all worth on the stock market? I don't know, but it's more than what I got. $1,000. And I'm sure folks gonna be out there signing up. And most folks aren't even using these phones for business or using it in a way that it can make them money. But $1,000 is wild. So cut the cards up, put them in the freezer, do what you got to do to stop spending unnecessarily, budgeting what you need to budget for, knowing what you have coming in. Now, you want to list all your high interest debt. List them. And this is called the debt snowball, by the way. I didn't magically make this up. There's 2 common methods to be able to eliminate debt quickly. One is the debt snowball method. The other is called the debt avalanche. Today, I'm going to talk about the debt snowball, where you list all your debts from smallest balance to the largest balance, independent of interest. We're not worrying about the interest rates. We're just worried about the balance. And you make minimum payments on all your credit card loan debt. Then, because minimum payments, that's a part of your budget. You got to make the minimum payments, right? And so whatever extra residual income you have from your income minus expenses, whatever extra residual that you have, you then put that towards the smallest debt. And you keep paying that until that first debt is paid off. So the more residual you have, the more income, less expenses, cut expenses if you can't increase your income. The more residual you have, the quicker you can eliminate your debt, because you're creating the snowball. And then whatever extra money you was putting towards that first debt, including the minimum payment, that now can roll over into your next debt. And see, it creates momentum. It's creating the debt snowball effect until you get all the way down to your last debt, to your last payment. And guess what? You are debt free. And all that money that you was paying somebody else, you can now pay yourself. And then we get into the savings. But how the 2 go hand in hand is paying your bills on time and credit utilization makes up 65% of your credit score. So while you're focused on eliminating your debt, your credit score by default is going to rise. And then we'll get into the beauty and benefit of that. I remember my last credit card debt. It was Sallie Mae. Y'all, that was the best feeling ever. It took me 3.5 years to pay off $33,000 worth of debt. And when I made that last payment to Sally Mae, I screamed to the top of my lungs, I am debt free. I am no longer bound. I am now free to pursue the life that I deserve and I can pay myself. And that's literally how that journey began. And so I challenge you today to stop unnecessary spending. I challenge you today to no longer go and apply for any more credit cards until you finish this debt elimination plan. I challenge you to do your debt, to do your map, to see where you are, where you want to go, establish what your financial plans are, and start tackling it. Listen, can y'all believe the pandemic was started 5 years ago? You know how fast time go by? The sooner you start, the sooner you can be done with it. The sooner you can start living a life worth living and not bound by debt. God has called us to be good stewards of our blessings. And so what are we doing with that? And so my challenge for you today on Monday is to write a debt-free letter to yourself. Tell yourself how it feels. Tell yourself what's the next step. Tell yourself everything tell yourself that's in debt now. Debt-free self is talking to yourself now. And write yourself a debt-free letter. Put it in an envelope, seal it, write your name on it. And when you become debt-free, I want you to open that letter up and read it. So, thank you so much for tuning in to 30 Days of Financial Wellness. Hi, Dora, Soul of Black Pearl. Make sure y'all go follow my friend, my business bestie. Thank you so much for joining the live. If you know someone that can benefit from the information that I'm sharing, please make sure you share this information. Sharing is caring. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, it's not too late to join my 2025 Money and Mindset Challenge. It's a free challenge, 5-day money tips and strategies sent directly to your inbox to help you begin your financial wellness journey. Remember, no matter where you are on this journey, if you're just getting started, you're in the middle, you're almost to the end, it doesn't matter. Remember, you got this. You are not alone. You can be and have whatever you want in life. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of effort. Sometimes it takes a little organized chaos to get to a beautiful, purpose-filled life. Hey, yes, financial freedom is important. We have the best coach ever. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. And I'm very passionate about this because this is a life that I'm living. I'm not just talking about it. You remember that hair care commercial for men? It was like, listen, I'm not just the president. I'm also the client, the user, something. I forget how it go, but I'm not just talking about this. This is a life that I've been living for many years now. Let me see, 2009, 2013. Yeah, that's 12 years I've been on this journey. And so longer than that, actually, about 15 years. And so, yeah, I'm to anybody who wants to hear, to anybody that I can connect with, anybody I can help. I'm going to continue to share my message, share my story to empower others because our stories matter. And the question is, what happens? Who suffers? Who is suffering because you're choosing not to win? Someone is out there waiting for you to be great. So what are you waiting on? All right, guys. See you tomorrow. We're talking about restoring credit.